This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Field facility adds 35 beds to Falmouth Hospital. The $200 million 35-bedroom field hospital on the Falmouth Hospital compound is complete, and the doctors have welcomed the addition to enhance patient care services. Chairman of the hospital, Ken Grant, divulged the information concerning the status of the field hospital, which was built to increase the bed space for patients, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. There has been no COVID-19 patient at the hospital for some time now, Grant explained, noting that the space will now be used for other patients. The decision was taken to house female medical patients, he said, adding that because of how the building is constructed with different sections, we are looking into the possibility of housing patients with mild mental issues. Dr. Leighton Perrins, senior medical officer, welcomed the fact that beds are now available. We are happy to be able to use the ward. Presently, our overall patient number is 89. No longer will patients have to sit on chairs as they wait for a bed to become available, disclosed the Perrins, who further informed that the Falmouth Hospital will be adding to the 24 doctors on staff. Very shortly, the doctor's staff will be further uplifted with the addition of a female physiotherapist, said the SMO. At the height of the COVID-19 in 2021, it became necessary for the field hospital to be built. It was a gift from the Pan American Health Organization. Along the way, two 220-pound oxygen tanks were installed, increasing the capacity of the hospital to take care of patients with respiratory problems. Grant expressed the pleasure at seeing the bed count reach its present number. When it was built in 1954, the capacity was 50 beds. Since 2017, we have benefited from the effects the noxious fumes had on Cornwall Regional Hospital when it became necessary to build more beds to serve patients transferred from the CRH, he shared. It is now time for the hospital to be designated a Type B facility. Education Ministry targets fourth form students to combat school violence. Education Minister Favour Williams has announced a psychosocial program focused on fourth formers as one of the measures to combat school violence. Contributing to the sectorial debate in the House of Representatives on Tuesday afternoon, Mrs. Williams noted the upsurge in school violence since the return to face-to-face classes. Mrs. Williams pointed out that current fourth formers or grade 10 students have spent most of their high school time outside of the structured school environment. In addition, she said fourth formers are typically 15 years old and are at the critical stage of their development, so the psychosocial intervention would be able to help them guide them through this period. The education minister said limited academic classes will be held during the 2-week intervention.
Having come to this understanding, we commenced an intervention and will continue this during the month of April. Schools have the flexibility to replicate and adapt this concept as the need arises. Limited academic classes will be held in those 2 weeks. We want to focus on providing psychosocial support to our fourth form students or grade 10 students, primarily to help them through this period. Schools resume searches of our student on entry and randomly throughout the day. Madam Speaker, we have given schools a safety and security policy document, and we expect that schools will abide by the procedures, especially as they relate to searches. The policy document describes what is a search and under what conditions they can have searches. Some schools will be getting CCTV surveillance systems to improve school safety and security. The issue of student dress and grooming has always been a major concern for schools, and that at times have resulted in students being sent home for breach of the student code of conduct. Principals are being reminded, and we have been doing this from time to time, that the school's department policy should be guided by the ministry's grooming policy guidelines. And where possible, special consideration should be afforded to students and their families as they attempt to rebound from the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic and as they try to comply with the department policy of the institution.
Family struggling in Ramshackle home. While many residents and the farmers in the rural township of Guys Hill, St. Catherine welcome the rain, the darkening clouds, and the roll of thunder drive fear into 70-year-old Howard Williams. The family is left to battle a leaky roof in the ramshackle wooden structure Williams calls home. "This is where I live with my family for donkey years now," Williams said, hinting at the longevity of the crisis. "I have tried to fix it up since my father died, but things get really bad for me and I need some help." The dilemma has prompted residents of Limehall District to call for the Prime Minister Andrew Holness' spearheaded social housing program to launch a rescue job for the Williams family. Flood woes have caused the laborer to dig a trench near the house to minimize the impact of inundation. The deplorable state of the Williams household has drawn compassion from its neighbors, who sometimes have pitched in to help. Yes, they are suffering, as sometimes as the rain set, I have to assist the little boy with a warm bed. This is because the water affects them very badly, Gail Bennett Whaler said in an interview. "Sometimes I don't even eat meat, as any money me work I have to use it to send him to school," Williams said of his son, 10-year-old Ricardo, who was seen practicing karate with a makeshift prop. "The main problem is that every time it rains the roof leaks. Even when you go on the floor, you still get wet. It's wicked," a teary-eyed Williams said. The child's mother, Dean Edwards, also lives in the dilapidated structure. "The wooden floor creaks badly and the sections are lifting off the place. Pieces of sponge accompanying what is left of a bed and the bundles of clothes are strewn about on nails on the walls. They really need help badly, as they have no running water, no toilet facilities, nor bathroom to use," Michelle Marshall said. Williams disclosed that the toilet fell out of commission some time ago and the family now uses a hole for waste disposal. Persons wishing to assist may call 876-449-1101. Prosecutor mulls strategy as accused faces local and U.S. charges. A Hanover car parts manager who is wanted by the United States for allegedly fleecing Americans out of millions of dollars in the fraudulent lottery scheme was on Tuesday remanded when he appeared in the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court. Alric Grant, 33, who is also charged locally for murder, is wanted in the U.S. for wire fraud and aggravated identity theft. When the matter was mentioned on Tuesday, Senior Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions Jeremy Taylor asked for the matter to be put off to another day so that he could have further consultation in respect of Grant's local charge. A new mention date has been set for April 21. Grant was charged in 2018 after an investigation by the Federal Bureau of Investigation. It is alleged that he scammed unsuspecting American citizens out of hundreds of thousands of dollars after convincing them that they won the lottery and would need to send cash to clear their prizes. Attorney at law Peter Champagny QC, who is representing Grant, said the case is quite unusual given that Grant is on a murder charge. He said it is important that the U.S. authorities be advised that Grant is charged locally and that a determination will have to be made as to whether he is extradited there and afterwards be returned here to face the local charge. Grant was on bail to return to the St. Mary Home Circuit Court on July 12. He is charged with the July 20, 2018 murder of Damien Gordon in Baileysville, St. Mary. Gordon was reportedly on a roadway in the community when a car with gunmen aboard drove up and shot and killed him and sped away. Police later found the car that was reportedly used in the attack abandoned in the community. It was traced to Grant, who was subsequently charged. Transport Authority expresses regret at employee and the security guard incident at the Corinaldi Primary School. The Transport Authority says it has launched an internal investigation into the report of an altercation between one of its employees and the security guard at the Corinaldi Primary School in St. James on Monday. Scores of children were left traumatized after the Transport Authority employee, a parent, allegedly used a baton to inflict several blows to the body of a security officer at the institution after a disagreement developed between both parties. The security guard was rushed to the Cornwall Regional Hospital, where he has been undergoing treatment for the injuries sustained. Expressing regret and grave concern regarding the incident, The authority said it is awaiting the outcome of the internal investigation and will treat the findings in accordance with its grievance procedures and the disciplinary codes. Meanwhile, the authority underscored that it encourages all employees to resolve conflicts in a constructive and amicable manner. It said it empathizes with the teachers, parents, and in particular the students who were exposed to this display of violence. The police are also conducting an independent investigation into the matter. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.